Welcome to ISIS in the Bible. Yes, we've changed the name. The whole Bible is about the woman who meets with you, her son, on the stations of the cross, also known as the stations of the zodiac. Our topic for the day is who paved this. We will go over what happened in the sky instead of what's happening. And the question for the day is, which we went through, was can you remember a change in your life's path? We went through a long meeting, but it was, wow. It's amazing what we go through to get to where we're going, and a lot of similarities and a lot of differences. Glad you joined us. So today, instead of what's happening in the sky, we're going to do what's happened in the sky. Very well-known music artist David Crosby got his angel wings on January the 18th. Looking at his chart, it's no wonder he sang about the Southern Cross. He had very strong alignments with Spica, the grain of wheat, which sits on the harvest line, i.e. the fall equinox, which is where the Southern Cross aligns. So he also had a notable alignment with Vega, the harp, as well. Must be why he loved music so much. His exit is very noticeable in his chart, by the way, but that's not what this is about, because I did do a few things on his medical chart, and go take a look, because I'm learning, and because he sang that song, I know the message of the magic that everything's in our chart. The only thing we can influence is the amplitude of the bumps, and that's with love and forgiveness. So the theme today is going to be about path. So let's talk about path. Having a looking forward approach to potential signs in your path. Let's talk about when the two mothers, rather the two Marys who watch over you, have a final meeting with you before the Phoenix Rising, and what the remainder of the year brings for you. So again, depending on your natal. If a feminine in your life has not had a word with you, then that could be a good thing. But let's keep an eye on these dates for signs for you and what you may need to keep your attention on. So for example, if you were born between these dates, this is the one they're going to transit this year. That's when Mary Magdalene and Virgin Mary in the sky, the luminaries that represented these two, that's from the Egyptian walls and in the Bible, because these are energies that are part of you. All right. So when they meet for last time before the Phoenix Rising, it's important. Doing people's medical astrology and see how it's related to their mother and the relationship with their mother is absolutely incredible, and it's invigorating. In some cases, it's lessons that haven't been learned yet, but when you watch that go forward and they watch how their lives change when they make it right with their mother, with any female in their life. Remember, that's how we get in and out of these waters. So for example, I was born in 1961. So between 1953 and 1961, so around February 4th this year, for somebody who's in that time span, which probably gets a lot of us between these two, these dates of this year. So for me, around the beginning of February, and I know stuff's happening in my chart February anyway. So if you get a message somehow from a female, no matter what it is, pay attention. They're giving you a sign. It's for our spiritual path moving forward. So we've had all these materialistic paths, and a lot of people brought up spiritual paths too, changing their lives, which is beautiful. Just keep an eye out. It depends on your natal, it really does, but I'm trying to give you hints, signs. Watch out for what the woman says. Watch for it. So I left that there for anybody that wants to take a look to see if there's something happening, and reach out if you read something. Chaya Clancy is the one who asked the question, where's Juno at? Why is there a full moon? What's happening with the moon and Juno, which is transiting in the next couple of days, which also can give the same kind of sign. And when I seen that, it dawned on me that Juno was also transiting her natal Mary at the time. She's a lot younger. So the Southern Cross is about our path in life. You may be familiar with it. We've spoken about it many times. Thanks to Tawny Rain for the interesting synchronicity. We put a Facebook post on January 12th prior to David Crosby taking the path to the Southern Cross. In other words, leaving us here while he gets his angel wings, but I'm sure he'll be back. So let's learn a bit about the significance. You know, the word significance has the word sign in it, right? What sign are we getting from David Crosby? The synchronistic conversation about the Southern Cross that I had with Tawny led to the realization of the true meaning of the lyrics of the song by Crosby, Stills, and Nash. The deeper spiritual meaning is when you truly see the Southern Cross, what it stands for, then you understand why our spirits are guided by the way of the stars. Hence the words in the song, when you see the Southern Cross for the first time, you understand now why you've came this way. And spirits are using me, larger voices are calling. The Southern Cross is part of the constellation Centaurus, which lies on the harvest line. And that's Ceres. You can see Ceres, the harvester, here, and the Southern Cross is right here. So this lies in the Bible position of when we go to sleep at night, when the sun sets, when we set, when we come back. So that's on there, the Southern Cross. So when you understand what the true meaning of the Southern Cross is, it's a guide for us. It's an understanding of remembrance of who we are and being infinite. So this line proves to us that we're infinite and that we're gods and goddesses of our own world to enjoy, so long as we use love. So where's the Southern Cross in the Bible? Well, we've already been through this before. But this Southern Cross, if you remember, that's the story of Jesus dying on the cross. In September 22nd, 31 AD, the alignment of the sun with both Marys is on the cross. Hence why I told you about those dates. The two Marys are meeting, having a little discussion about you. So it's your own internal vibration when you're starting to realize, and you start realizing, when people start to talk about, I realized that I needed to make a change. This is your own internal vibration. So that's what's written in the Bible, discussing vibrations from luminaries. They're not literal people. They're your vibrations that you've left behind, your own guidance. And the female here and anybody around you will help you get there. So we do know that the Bible is the Dendera zodiac, which is a depiction of what happens in the starry seas, which is the path of our lives. Each zodiac is a station of a cross. So the sun does die in a cross, and that is the harvest line. The metaphysical story in the Bible is a literal one, not a physical one, that happens to one man or woman, but to each and every one of us. So when you see this and you're knowing, you now understand the path shown to us in the sky. Like I said, that cross, I know it sounds deep, but it's just more proof that you're infinite, a goddess or a god, and that your path is about to change once again for the better, a whole new world, one of love that can only come with forgiveness. Don't forget, this is for other people that are going to be watching this in a video that haven't had the opportunity yet to feel what you're all feeling, to start realizing your path is already changing on a spiritual one, because there's many out there that haven't even stuck one foot in the water yet. So from some of you, this is preaching to the choir. This is the cover image that was for today's gathering, showing a choice of paths. You're probably not seeing it yet, but I'm going to try to get to it. Just like the star Polaris being a guide pointing north, so too is the Southern Cross, the guiding point pointing to south, which is a tool to lead you north. So in other words, they use Polaris the people that sail the seas, the physical seas, use the stars so that they can know where north is. Well, the Southern Cross also helps you know where north is. We can get into it another time on why that's important. Anybody guess what this Grand Canyon looking image is from? Can you recognize it now?
That's a vinyl album.
Right. So this is from Applied Science on YouTube.
This is an animation that shows a phonograph needle riding in an LP groove. So in this video, I'm going to talk about how I made this and some other recording technologies.
So that's the needle following the vibrations that was left in the album, right? So, okay, I got a little, I made a little video here to help, just 1 second. So you can be that needle, all right? Or you can be a surfer. that surfs over top of the waves instead of crashing into them. These ridges are what we've left behind. That's the path that we're on, the one that tries to keep you there. Like some of you have said, something's always wanted to pull me, like my parents or whoever want to pull me and keep me, hold me down. That's because you've left these grooves behind in an LP of life.
Can I mention something, Claudio?
Absolutely.
That's what I see as we try to reach to our inner core. We make this little tracks in that outer core, and that's what we are constantly playing, and that's what is inspiring. It's heard by the mother, and in which way we inspire her to bring us, and she will now inspire us. So our story is chiseled on the outer core of our inner core. Exactly. Outer wall of the inner core. Yeah.
Exactly that. And how do you float over top? How do you be that surfer? Love and forgiveness. Love and forgiveness. Watch for signs. So just a couple of quick slides, and then we're going to have a little song to play. Where's path in the Bible? Because this is us. We left this message on the walls in Egypt and they got it misinterpreted, but we changed a couple of the words around just to make it fit for us, because this is our message we left for us. So it's important that we read these. So in book of Acts, chapter 13, the chosen prophets, verse 48. And when the Gentiles heard this, they began to rejoice and to glorify the word of the ruling goddess. This is the stuff we're all been talking about, right? And all those who were designated for eternal life believed. We're all designated for that. You got to feel it. So everyone is on the eternal path. It's just, when do you want to get off, or when do you want to better that path? So book of 1 Timothy, chapter 2, some rules for men and women. For this is good and acceptable in the sight of you, a goddess, your own Savior, who desires all people to be saved and come to full knowledge of truth. I don't know why, but Elaine came right into my head. I mean, every one of you said something similar, but Elaine came into my head. Because that's what we want. We want everybody to get into the truth and forgiveness, but it's so important, the forgiveness part, if we want to change that path. Book of Mark, chapter 1, beginning of good news. Verse 2, look, I'm sending you my messenger. And that messenger is really everybody around you. It's not one person. It's the vibrations. He will prepare your way, he or she. A voice shouting out in the wilderness, prepare the way for the ruling goddess. Make her path straight. The ruling goddess is love within you. It's not a being. It's your own vibration. The book of Psalms, chapter 37, instructions of wisdom. Verse 23, the ruling goddess, remember, Lord is ruling goddess, right? I've already changed those out. The ruling goddess makes the firm steps of the one who delights in her. So in other words, love and forgiveness is the flavor. Love is always there, but the forgiveness is what we're upon with the age of Aquarius. So that's it. And I just have a little video to play now. Sit back and enjoy this little song.
Got out of town on a boat going to Southern Islands, sailing to reach before a following sea. She was making for the trades on the outside, and the downhill run to Papaete. Off the wind on this heading line, the Marquesas. You got 80 feet of a water line, nicely making way. In a noisy bar in Avalon, I tried to call you, but on a midnight watch I realized why twice you ran away. Think about how many times I had fallen. Spirits are using me, larger voices calling. What heaven brought you and me, can I forgotten. Around I have been around the world, looking for that woman girl who knows love can endure, and you know it will. When you see the Southern Cross for the first time, you understand now why you came this way. 'Cause the truth you might be running from is so small, but it's as big as the promise of a coming day. So I'm sailing for tomorrow, my dreams are a-dying, and my love is an anchor tied to you, tied with a silver chain. I have my ship and all her flags are a-flying. She is all that I have left, and music is her name. Think about how many times I have fallen. Spirits are using me, Lord, your voice is calling. What heaven brought you and me cannot be forgotten. I have been around the world, looking for that woman girl who knows love can endure, and you know it will, and you know it will. So we cheated and we lied and we tested, and we never failed to fail. It was the easiest thing to do. You will survive being bested. Somebody fine will come along, make me forget about loving you. In the Southern Cross